Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do the Sacrifices issue number 14 from Image Comics. We're going to continue this pretty good but also weird stories. And I must say not everything is good. I like Rick Remender. I think he's a fantastic writer. And the series is pretty good. But this is, for me, it feels like padding and dragging the story a little bit. You know, I'm going to show you. So, we have Beatrice here and the daughter of the sun god, right? And there's a play here about the things that happened in the past issues, but then in a play form. But not everything is told truthfully, right? There is some politics in here that, people side with how people decide what truth really is, right? So they are basically bending the truth to brainwash the kids here, thinking that, hey, we need sacrifices to help the gods, right? To put Harless back together. Harless is probably a place or something like that. Does it say here? Well, it doesn't matter. And anyway, and so all these kids that's been kidnapped, by the way, I find it strange that they've been kidnapped and then they are being placed in this giant playground and they are being told that they are good children and they need to be happy and there's festivities, and then there's these guys that basically doing the happy joy thing and guiding them to this particular building here, right? So Beatrice, who's the sister of the pigeon guy that is now godly powers from her, by the way, that he accidentally got, how do you say, sprayed onto him, because she knows what's in here. Her brain was being, she got a needle in her brain, and the brain fluid is basically the nectar of the gods. That's because that's how they stay young. And she says, no, you cannot go in here. So he said, don't go with them. You must trust me, right? But she bites her. Saluna is her name. She says, stay away from me. And she says, why are you so afraid of me? You're rotten. I've seen it. What are you talking about? When you were asleep, there were black snakes coming out of you. They're going to eat me. And she says, well, that's ridiculous. But then she thinks about that and what happened to her a couple issues ago, right? And she realizes that Beatrice is right. She read of the black spores that live in the fields. Parasites that use a host body to bring them to populated areas where they can feed. And she realizes that the spores are inside her. And she said, you need to help me. But you need to do something for me. So I'm going to go to the other side of the atrium to stay as far away as I can. She says, this is great facial expression. She doesn't want to do anything to do with her, to a certain degree. She says, let me fall asleep. I don't want to get anywhere near you, she says. Take these rocks. If you see me asleep, throw them at me. Doesn't that hurt? She says, it doesn't matter, Don't let me fall asleep. So when the jesters come to collect you, just hide. Now play with the other children's size. She says, don't go with them. They aren't what they seem. No one ever is. She knows what's up. So days pass and Beatrice is playing with all of these young people, right? And she says, hey, that reader over there, is she your friend? No. So Saluna is trying not to sleep, right? And this whole thing just starts all over again when this clown is, doing fun stuff, goading these little children into do whatever they want, right? But then Saluna here barely can keep her eyes open, right? And she just loses the battle. She cannot abandon them to this horrible fate. She must help them, right? Because that's what the foreman's chairs do. She has felt the life force drained from her, and then she falls asleep. you know, it was inevitable. So the clowns is, you know, clowning around, I guess, but these children looked in horror. It's just an act, kid. I'm okay. The danger is just a part of the act. And then, yep, the parasite is loose and it's starting devouring, you know, everyone that can touch us, I guess. The blood and gore is great in here. I mean, even though there's a lot of kids in here, you don't see them really die, except that the brain is being drained, right? So they die, but mostly it's the adults that, you know, gets the end of the stick, I guess. So this creature is trying to get the kids. Beatrice tried to get to Saluna, but it doesn't work. And then, the gods come. He says, what the hell? Well, too late for them. They are being, well, ripped apart. So I wonder what that spore actually is. I mean, is there more of them? It's just crazy, man. Look at this. It seems unstoppable. So Beatrice then grabs a rock and throws at Saluna. She wakes up, and this creature retreats. She says, what have I done? Killed those things. Sometimes we find ourselves in circumstances beyond our control, where the equations of trust no longer matter. The doors are open. We have to go now. You have to trust me. None of you can stay here. So Beatrice looks at her. She says, these people will hurt you. And, you know, she's trying to convince the kids to come with them, right? In desperate traits, it doesn't matter. In moments like that, we must trust, because there are simply no better options. And then we see the black goo in her eyes, right? But it is also linked to this creature that I believe sets those spores loose upon the earth. And he says, my spores see her. I know where your daughter is, but you're not going to like it. So this is the sun god, right? And he did some heinous things as well. So yeah, leads us to the next issue. Pretty cool. I think it's a good book, but you know, I'm not sure this really needs to be in here because we already seen it. But you know, then with Saluna and Pigeon Boy, all right, although they are now escaping while the others are just, you know, dead, except Pigeon Boy and Saluna here. So I think they're dragging it out a little bit here. I mean, it's just them in these prison here, and then with Saluna, you know, realizing that she has a spore in her, and that doesn't need to, you know, that can escape, but it does, and then hell breaks loose. So yeah, it's like I said, the series is pretty good. Yeah, this is a little bit meh. It's okay, I guess. I like these characters. I like the drawings. I like the writing. Yeah, we're gonna find out in the next book how it all progresses, right? Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about it. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cosmonaut Comics. I do daily videos, also unboxing. That's coming up one really soon. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you next time.